Randy at Wise Monkey Quilting in Denison, Iowa. And this morning, we are making a tissue tote. Isn't this adorable? I love this. You put it over a box of Kleenex. Can I call it Kleenex? A box of tissue. And then it has built-in pockets on the side, so you can use it for your clips. I've made another one in pink. You can use it for your pins, your seam ripper, and you can leave a bigger pocket on a side that even is big enough for your cell phone to go in. So you always have everything you need right there by you. So who's joining us this morning, Randy?
Just one second here.
As he's busy getting ready.
So far we got quite a few here.
Oh, good. Everyone was looking forward to this.
We have Stacy watching, Marianne, Triss, Ann, Peg, Brenda, and yes, hopefully everyone in the southeast
Yes.
is safe this morning.
Yes, has gone to a safe place and hunkered down to ride out the storm where the water can't get to them.
Hi, Roxy, Carla, she's having coffee. Debbie is watching. Ilma, Peg, Jackie is also with us. Martha, she's back to her normal self. She's having scrambled eggs, sausage, and toast for breakfast.
Wow.
Hi, Carla.
You are a good woman, Martha.
Steve, our greeter, he's checking in and welcoming everyone.
Good morning, Steve.
Good morning, Linda and Teresa, along with Lois and Barbara and Connie. Roxy is having scrambled eggs and coffee for breakfast.
Oh, very good.
Hi, Gladys and Lois. Peg's at school waiting for the students.
Oh, well, 8 o'clock. What time do they usually get there, Peg? It should be about any time, shouldn't it?
Good morning, Kathy. Emily says she was up at 2 a.m. playing with her new toy. So.
Okay. Good for you, Emily. I'm glad you are.
Good morning, Cindy, along with Karen and Perry. I'm sorry, Karen. Sharon is checking in from Delaware. Deanna in Oakdale, Nebraska. Hi, Colleen. It's a big day for Colleen, too. I think she's getting a special package.
Ooh, how fun.
We have Julie from Patchabilities is checking in.
Good morning, Julie.
So, Denise, Lisa, and this coming Tuesday, we're going to be doing another one of Julie's applique on our Treat Yourself Tuesday.
Yes, we are.
I can't think of the name of it off the top of my head,
but it has a pumpkin on it.
It has pumpkins.
Okay, it has pumpkins.
And Lisa is checking in from her sister's house along with Jelaine. Lisa, Cindy, has 3 kids waiting for the rest for breakfast.
All right.
Hi, Kathy in South Carolina, and Linda, Mary, Katie, Connie.
Good morning, everyone.
Beth Ann and Alicia.
All right. So what we're making this morning is a tissue tote. It is a pattern by Cut Loose. I've done a lot of these patterns and will continue to do them. I like them because they have the 3-hole punch. You can go to the dollar store, get you a little notebook, and then you can just keep these in there so you always know where they are. Over here on the side, it even gives you categories so you can organize them within your book. This one is, let me see, it's a craft is highlighted, fat quarter friendly, and less than 2 hours. Just what we like to do. So the tissue tote, we have it on this morning. It's $3.99 and it sold 100. If this is your first time watching us here at Wise Monkey Quilting, just type register in your comment, follow the prompts, and then you are ready to shop with us. You can always download our free app on your phone or tablet, and then you can just hit the buy button above me when you see something you like. So a great pattern. I think this just is adorable. You can take it with you when you go to class or retreats. And we had a suggestion last night when we were on that you have a friend that's sick, take them this with a can of chicken soup, and you are gold to your friend. So a great thing to have. Along with that this morning, let me see where I am. I have a couple fat quarter bundles for you. So this one, obviously Halloween. So you can make one for every season of the year. So I put together a fat quarter bundle of Halloween. So there's 6 fat quarters. What it takes to make this is it's calling for 2 fat quarters and an 1/8. You are going to be able to get 1 tissue stand out of this orange fabric because it's wider. You'll be able to get 2 out of this lower fabric and multiple out of the fabric for the top. Or you could do the same fabric as this one on top, and then you only need 2 fat quarters to do a tissue tote. So you can do it however you want. There are 6 fat quarters in our Halloween. So we have one that's got just stars and dots on it with bright colors. Wouldn't even have to be Halloween. You could pair that up with a pink or a green and call it good. I have a gray with spider webs on it. We have a really cute little black with some purple bats and pumpkins, which is what I used. This was the bottom fabric that I used in mine. And then of course we have some really cute little purple spiders, which is what I used at the top. This one is, it's Dear Stella. It's little tiny X's and O's, and you might see a little shape. Maybe it looks like a cat head, but it's blues and purples and yellows and oranges. So you could use this any kind of a combination you want. And then I've got one that has little ghosts and haunted house and stars. So I put this together, 6 fat quarters for a Halloween bundle. So you can make a bunch of these for Halloween and give them to your friends.
And if you wanted more than one of these, you could just enter it twice, and we will cut you half yard cuts of each.
Yes, we will.
Or on up, depending on how much you want.
That's right. Great, super fun Halloween fabric. So $19.50 for the fat quarter bundle. That one is sold $101. And then I picked out a Christmas fat quarter bundle. So we're going to be making the Christmas one this morning. So I've got a fabric that has different presents on it. I've got a green with snowflakes. Isn't that pretty? I've got, this is a white with floating presents, or tossed presents they call it. And then I've got the blue with the snowmen. So this one can go all year. Maybe you're looking for something to give someone after the holidays in January. This would be a great one, just the snowmen. And then I've got a red with the snowflakes. And then a larger tossed present. Again, there are 6 fat quarters here for our Christmas fat quarter bundle. $19.50, sold $102. What you also will need to do yours is a lightweight fusible interfacing. So we have this.
Well, and is the Halloween fabric, is that glow in the dark? Is the
Some of it is, yes.
Okay.
Some of it has the white on it that glows in the dark.
Okay.
Actually, I think most of it is the white glows in the dark.
Okay.
Okay, so you are going to need some fusible Pellon. This is a lightweight. We're selling it by the yard of $2.96. So if you need some fusible for your projects, you will be using this morning in it. It's sold $103. And then you're going to be using also a friction pen. And I have some different varieties of pens. This one is a water-soluble, it's called a multi-mark. So sometimes when you're using the blacks, you need a lighter color that's going to show up for you to see it. So this one marks in white, yellow, green, blue, orange, or brown. And it's more of a pencil. So you can pick what color you want, and then you can make a mark more of the pencil, water soluble, so get it wet and it disappears. This is $5.99, sold $104. Then we have the regular friction pen. This is a multi-pack of black, blue, or red. So if you're using a darker color, sometimes really does help to use the blue or the red on it. So the 3-pack is $9.99. It's the friction clicker pens, sold $105. And then we also have on the friction highlighters. So these are more of a pastel color, and then they highlight. So if you are using the darker colors, these work really well as well. And this disappears. Both of the friction pens disappear with heat or with rubbing on them. They'll disappear too, like erasing them. So the highlighter ones are $5.20, sold $106.
And I'm just before, as you're straightening your papers out, I'm going to try to catch up here on where we were when we started here. And I apologize, I'm missing probably some of you. Good morning, Mary, Katie, Connie, Beth Ann, Alicia, Debbie. Lori says, good morning, everyone. And this is something to, I've heard of this happening a couple of times here just recently. Said if you're, please use a ruler gripper when cutting with the rotary blade. She took off a good portion of the tip of her finger. The blade jumped the ruler, and she got stitched, but 3 days later, painful. So be careful.
Yes. We all need to be careful.
There's gloves, there's different things, and we have different things here too, and we will probably bring something on Tuesday, just as something that we want all of you to be safe, and it is no fun going to that urgent care or emergency room
It is no fun
to get stitches put in and then be out of commission.
Yeah.
Good morning, Cindy. Stacy, we do get some sleep, yeah. So I am Brenda, Victor.
Last night we were outside in our garage decorating our golf cart for the homecoming parade today.
Good morning.
You'll see a picture of that later posted.
Good morning, Cheryl. She's driving the grandkids to school. And good morning, Lisa. Let's see, anybody else? Julie is checking in. Over in Fremont or Blair. Gosh, I should know, Julie, but good morning anyway. Beth Ann's got a question. Does a pattern also work for the long tissue boxes or just the little ones?
Just the little square ones.
Okay. And then we're getting into a lot of purchases. Good morning, Robin.
So I made the Halloween one, but then I also made this one. Now we don't have this fabric this morning, but I did this one just because I like to do it a couple times to really do it. So it's kind of a blue and a pink. If I would do this one again, I would put the flowers down here on this side, but I'm just showing you that, you can do some other fabrics with it as well.
Along with Connie, Coral, make sure, Sandra, Angie in Omaha, Nancy, good morning from Florida. The sky is clear, the sun is shining, lots of debris to clean up.
Okay, good. Well, not the debris, but good that the skies are clear and the sun is shining.
Right. So, all right, it's your show.
All right. So it tells you the dimensions to cut your fabric and your stabilizer in the pattern. Again, this is the cut loose pattern. Judy Hansen's tissue tote. So I've went ahead and cut my fabric. I've got 2 different fabrics. You're going to have a wider fabric. That is what's going to be on that you can see behind here. And then a shorter fabric. This is your outer sleeve of what's going to be down here. And then you're going to cut 2 squares, which is the top of your tissue tote. And like I said, if you want to do it just 2 colors, you can use this same color from here up here. You'll have enough fabric to do that with a fat quarter of each. So I went ahead and did that. Also, you're cutting your stabilizer on your bigger piece of fabric. I've already pressed on the stabilizer. It leaves about 1/4 of an inch around all 4 sides, and I've pressed that on. A good way to do that is use steam on your iron, and that gives it a nice adherence to that. Your other fabric, when you cut your stabilizer, and I know it's hard to see, it only covers half of your piece, and then you just leave a nice 1/4 inch. So you're just taking your stabilizer up about 1/4 inch from the top of your fabric. Once you place your stabilizer on this smaller one, you're just going to press in your 2 long sides 1/4 of an inch. So once we have the stabilizers pressed on our fabric, we're just going to put our fabric together, right sides together. I'm just going to open up the 1/4 inch that I've pressed, and I'm going to sew 1/4 inch to make a tube out of it.
Couple of things for next week for changes in our schedule anyway. Next Wednesday there will not be a Barnstar sampler. We are Amy and I both have it's the same meetings on Wednesday morning, so we are going to make that a makeup week.
Catch-up week.
So if any of you are a little behind, that gives you an extra week to go for that. So no Barnstar sampler on Wednesday morning of next week.
All right, and then, okay, but I'm going to stop him. So I've sewn this together to make a tube. I'm going to do the same thing with my big piece. I'm going to fold it right sides together, and I'm going to sew that edge 1/4 inch. And then when I've got both of these sewn, I'm going to press my seam open. So I'm going to sew this, and then I'm going to press my seams open, and then I'll let Randy talk.
So then also, with it being strip club next week, strip club will be on Friday at 10 a.m. You can watch us live either on our app or anywhere that you're watching from this morning, Facebook Live. With that being on Friday, the breakfast with Amy next week will be Saturday morning instead of Friday. So Saturday morning breakfast with Amy next week. So that's a couple of the announcements. So I'm going to turn it back to Amy.
So no Wednesday barn quilts. You can have a catch-up day because Randy and I have a meeting we need to be at. All right, so I am just pressing these seams open. And then with this one, since you have it turned down that 1/4 inch, I'm just going to turn it down again where I did my seam and press it again. So it has a nice 1/4 inch.
Emily's got a question. She says, Amy, when do you hit the knot button and scissor button as you almost finish the seam?
Oh, okay. So when I'm completely done, even off the fabric, I'll hit the scissors button. So you don't have to even do that when you're on the fabric. And when you sew a knot, your machine that you just got can be programmed. So you program it, you hit your knot button first, start sewing, and then when you get down to where you want, as you're sewing, where you get to the point you want to stop, hit your reverse button and it'll tie a knot for you. Hopefully that answers. If that's not good enough, give me a call and I'll walk you through it. All right, so we've sewn these into the tube, pressed our seam open. This one is our outside sleeve, so that one has a 1/4 inch folded over on both long edges. So what I'm going to do is, because we only had stabilizer on half, I am going to fold it right side out, halfway, and when match up my edges. So I'm just going to take a couple of my clips and I am just matching up my edges that I had folded over, kind of making a cuff. And I found that it's easier if I just put a clip every so often as I match this up.
Good morning. Jackie says no school for her today because of hurricane weather.
Okay.
Good morning, Deb. Pam is working on the Barn Star Sampler, or block number 3. So you have a catch-up week along with anybody else next week, Pam, so that should help a lot of you out. Good morning, Sharon. Linda says she needs a catch-up week or 2.
I hear you. All right, so I have just matched those edges that were turned over. Now, what I'm going to do is, I think it works nice if I just take it to my iron and give this a nice press on this folded side. Just a real quick press to make it lay flat. Now I'm going to go to my machine, and on my folded side, not my side that has my 2 edges, but on my folded side, I'm just going to do like 1/8 of an inch all the way around. If your machine has it where you can take off your accessory tray, now's a good time to do that. And I'm just going to put it underneath, and I am just going to sew 1/8 of an inch just all the way around. It just kind of gives it a nice clean look.
Good morning, Paula from Axel, Texas. Azell, Texas. And you do have 1 week left to complete your strip club or your Villa Rosa challenge. So we will, to get those posted or to bring it to strip club next Friday. And there is a chance someone in store will win a $50 gift certificate, and somebody that posts on Friends of Wise Monkey Quilting will also win a $50 gift certificate.
All right, so I just sewed around this edge. This edge is open. That's okay. We're going to take care of that later. Now our other one, sleeve, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to fold it in half. And we're going to match up those seams again. Now this one's okay because both raw edges on this one is going to be covered. So we didn't have to fold this over. But I am doing the exact same thing.
Good morning, Cindy.
Now this one had stabilizer throughout the whole thing, and I think that helps a little bit when I'm matching up.
Shipping this morning, we have failed to mention that.
We forgot to mention that.
Shipping this morning is a $5 flat rate unless you purchase $25 or more worth of items, and then it is free. So we think that's a great value for all of you, so take advantage.
Yep. All right, so on this one, on the raw edge, I am just going to do a basting stitch. So to do my basting stitch, I am just going to go into my stitch edit, and I'm going to lengthen my stitch a little bit. You're not going to see this stitch, but it's going to help hold it together when you do some more sewing. So I am just doing a basting stitch all the way around that raw edge. And it works really quick because you've lengthened your stitch.
Now the key is, after you have done the basting stitch, to remember to switch it back.
That is so right. I will do that right away. I forgot to do that yesterday, and I had to re-stitch a spot because it was already on my, My stitches were too long. All right, so we've got our outer sleeve and our inner sleeve. On our outer, make sure your double is down and that fold where you stitched around is up. There's your key. And this just goes over top of here. Now on your inner sleeve, the raw edge is up. So you have them on. The raw edge of your inner one is up and your nice finished edge of your outer one is up. Just like that. Now you're going to match. And you don't have to, but you can, I match my seams. And I'm just going to put in a little clip that my seams are matched.
Good morning, Cheryl. Evelyn, checking in with us.
Okay, so now we're going to turn this whole thing inside out.
And Sandra says, oh, we need outside pockets.
Ah.
And they will be coming.
All right, so once I have the whole thing smoothed and inside out, we're going to mark, we're not going to sew, but we're going to mark where our four corners is. Because later when we put our top on, we need reference points as to where our corners go on our top. So here was my seam. I'm going to take a ruler and my friction pen, and I'm going to measure over what it says in the directions. And I am going to make a mark. So I just need my mark at the top. And then I'm going to turn it and make another mark from that one. Just at the top, the raw edge top. And then I'm going to turn it and make one more mark. So those are my 4 marks when we go to hook our top on.
Leslie is wondering, what is the pattern of the quilt behind you, Amy?
Ambient bracelets. And we do have that available in our comment sold store.
And what's nice about that is the we include the template to do those with the patterns. So that's one nice thing for putting things together.
Yes, yes we do. All right. So now, I can't remember. I have to check something on the pattern. Because I think I was supposed to, we're going to turn this right side out again, and I forgot to sew a really nice 1/4 inch seam all the way around the bottom. That's going to hold everything together. So I'm just going to slip this back on, and I'm going to sew a 1/4 inch around the bottom.
And a reminder, our Friday shipping is $5 flat rate, unless you purchase $25 or more, and then it is free. So maybe your cart is at $20, $21. You just as well go in and find something that maybe you don't need right now, but you're going to use. Maybe that is that friction pen or something like that, and add it to your cart, and that way you're going to be paying close to the same amount, but your shipping will be free, and then you're going to have another product coming your direction.
All right, so now we're back to turning it right side out. We made my mark, what the pattern says, to mark our 4 corners. So now we're going to do the top of our thing. So we have 2 squares that it told us to cut. We're going to lay them right sides together. And you're going to need your friction pen again. What I'm going to do is lay a ruler on my square, and I line it up so here is a line for a inch, and here is a line for the inch. I'm going to mark 2 inches. So I'm going to come up from my corner and I'm going to mark 2 inches. Then I'm going to come up from the corner on the other one and I'm going to mark 2 inches. So I do it by laying it on. If you want to just come here and go at your corner and mark 2 inches, you can, and then come down here and lay it on and mark 2 inches, you certainly can. So do you see how I did that? So I have the squares right sides together, and I have a 2-inch line and a 2-inch line. Now I'm going to go to my machine and I'm going to start on the inside. So I'm going to start here and I'm going to sew to the corner. Then I'm going to come back and I'm going to start here and sew to the corner. We had a light go out. And it's a really good idea when you start to tie a knot. Cut my thread. Whoops. If I hit the right button. And I'm going to go around to the other corner. I'm going to start on the inside, tie a knot, and then finish sewing it to the corner. Now, if I come, so here is my lines that I sewn. If I come over here to one side and pull those back, then come to my other side and pull those back. See how there's my opening for my Kleenex? And I have my square. So now I'm just going to take it to my iron and I'm going to give that a nice press. So there are my 2 squares with the slit in the middle for my Kleenex. I'm going to sew 1/8 of an inch down both sides, and then I'm going to sew 1/8 of an inch all the way around. Now, normally if you were doing this and you had plenty of time to do it, I would switch to a red thread so you don't see it, but I'm just doing it in white, and then it'll help you see what I'm doing. So I'm just going to sew 1/8 of an inch away from that slit on the one side. Then I'm going to turn it around and come back on the other. And then I'm just going to sew 1/8 of an inch all the way around the outside of my square. That holds both those squares together. So when we go to add it to the top, it's a lot easier.
If you're joining us late, there will not be any Barnstar sampler next Wednesday morning. Amy and I have some meetings we need to be at. And so we're going to make that as a kind of a makeup week, catch-up week, whatever you want to call it. So, but we will be back the following week to continue on with that.
Okay. See how I sewed? So there's the little hole where the Kleenex come up. I sewed 1/8 of an inch on both sides, so you still have that, and then I sewed 1/8 of an inch all the way around. And then I'm just trimming some of my threads. So the next thing is you're just determining where you want your pockets. So the directions say to measure from the seam and then go on the other side and measure from the seam, then turn it right side out and sew. I found that hard to do because once I make my lines on the inside, I can't really see them on the outside. So I just turn mine right side out and choose kind of where you want pockets. Then I just went to my machine, and you kind of have to be careful so you don't catch your fabric. I started at the top of the outside pocket, and then I am just sewing straight down. If you want to make a line with your friction pen, you certainly can.
Good morning, Dory.
And then I might come over just a little bit more and make another stitch. And you can do that as many, if you want a lot of little pockets, do it a lot of times. If you want bigger pockets, then do it less times. So you're just going to sew and make pockets as big as you want for the outside. So I just go around, and if you want to mark them and measure them, you certainly can. And then I just made some pockets. Then all we have to do is turn it back, inside out. Those marks that we made earlier, you're going to take your square, and it doesn't really matter wrong side or right side. I'm going to match up a corner to one of those marks that I made earlier. And then I'm just going to put a pin in there. Then I'm going to come around to the opposite corner and find my opposite mark, which happens to be my seam. And I'm going to put a pin in. Then I take my other corner, find my mark, put my pin. For some reason, most of my pins are bent. I don't know why. And then my last corner and my last mark. And then what I'll do is find my center of what's not pinned, kind of center it, and put a clip on. And center it, and put a clip. So you'll have 4 pins, 4 clips. If you don't like using pins, you can use all clips. If you don't like using clips, you can use all pins. And all I'm going to do is sew 1/4 of an inch all the way around. When you get to that corner, you can kind of make sure you stop with your needle down, and you can kind of pivot to go. I start kind of in the center. I don't want to start in the corner. I'll start in the center. Remove my clip. And then I just make sure that my fabric is lined up, and I work my way around. When I get to my corner, I'm just going to stop with my needle down and turn my fabric.
We're about done.
Yeah, this is the last step. They really go together very easy and very quick.
You can see this being one of those projects. I know we're seeing multiple pictures of the hot pads and that. So I can see where this is something that a lot of people are going to use this to give to friends for just whatever reason. It's
Birthday, Christmas, just because. Again, if your church has a church bazaar or you do craft shows, this would be a great project for people to buy. Coming up to my corner.
Reminder for next week, there will not be any Breakfast with Amy on Friday because we will be having Strip Club live at 10 a.m. But we will have Breakfast with Amy on Saturday morning at 8 a.m. So we will be back a day next week. So it'll be on Friday or Saturday instead of Friday for Breakfast with Amy.
Right, and I am almost done.
Maggie and Shirley, you're both coming in late, so they will be watching the replay.
Absolutely. All right, so I have just put that on. I have sewed all the way around. As long as you have it pinned or clipped on your corners and on your side, it really goes together easy. Then I'm going to turn it right side out, poke out my corners, and the last step is I'm going to open up a thing of Kleenex, put it over the top, and how cute is that? So now you can put your stuff in it. Maybe you want to put your scissors. You can put your cell phone in the side. However you want to work it for the cute little Kleenex box. How cute is that? I just love them.
Terry says that would be a great gift for nursing home residents.
Oh, absolutely. Really good. Or anyone that works in an office or at their desk or even at your sewing table. I mean, we all have our box of Kleenex that sit right beside us. Why not have a cute box of Kleenex beside us that you can use to store your stuff with?
And maybe that elusive TV remote that can get lost very easily. That's a great place to store it.
Yes, it is. All right, should we go over again what we had?
Sure.
All right, so it is the Cut Loose Press Tissue Tote pattern by Judy Hansen. I love these. They're 3-hole punch. You can put them in a 3-ring binder. You always know where they are. $3.99, sold 100. Then we have a couple of fat quarter bundles. So we have a Halloween one, like I did here. And we have, here is a fabric that just has stars and bright colored dots on it. And yes, this one, the stars do glow in the dark. We have one that's got different color circles and X's and what kind of look like cat heads. All different colors. We've got an orange with cute little spiders. We've got a black with pumpkins and bats. A gray with spider webs. And then a purple with ghosts and haunted houses. So $19.50 gets you the 6 fat quarters for Halloween, sold 101. And then we have a fat quarter bundle for Christmas. These would make great Christmas presents as well. So we've got some larger tossed presents. We've got a red and white dots and snowflakes. A snowman. So if you're looking for something that's maybe not Christmas that can continue on through January, these two would make a super cute Kleenex box. And if you use the same on the bottom, you can use it for the top. You can do it with just the 2 fat quarters. Then we have small tossed presents on a white, a green snowflake, and the overall presents on this one. So $19.50 for the 6 Christmas fat quarter bundle, sold $102. Then you are going to need the lightweight stabilizer, lightweight Pellon. We're selling it by the yard. $2.96 per yard, sold $103. And then our friction pens. So we've got the multi-mark, which is a chalk pen, and you can have it in the white or the yellow. So if you're using dark colors, it would show up. $5.99 for, and this is a water soluble, so you get that mark wet and it'll disappear. Sold $104. Then we have our regular friction pens. These disappear with heat, or you can erase them. There's an eraser down on the bottom if you rub them. $9.99, so you get black, blue, and red. Or we have the highlighters. This is the same way, so there's soft pastel colors, and this one disappears with erasing friction, also with heat. This will disappear. So you've got, these come in multicolors. When I order in an order of these, this one happens to be gray, blue, and red. Some come in green, orange, and pink. I get a variety, so you're going to get just 3 different colors of highlight pens. $5.20, sold $106.
Darlene, I think you may have a typo there. We don't have an item number 196.
Probably 106 is what you wanted.
And yes, Darlene has got that already.
Okay,
so great.
Good. Well, they're just fun little tissue totes. You'll be making all kinds. They go together quick and easy. And then you can just make them for all your friends or for yourself. I mean, this is super fun to keep by your sewing machine and make different colors and different seasons and always have a new one. Or have a friend that's sick, make her one and put a box of Kleenex in with a can of chicken soup, and you're good to go.
So $5 flat rate shipping this morning.
Unless you buy $25 or more, then your shipping is free.
Trying to think of anything else. If you're in the area, please come to Denison Schleswig High School's homecoming parade this afternoon. If you're lucky, we'll throw some candy your way.
I'll post a picture of our golf cart that we have spent all last night and still have to finish this morning decorating for the homecoming parade. We have tons of candy to pass out. So we are a business partner with Mrs. Bonson's first grade class. So I went to their class yesterday and met with them and told them all about fabric. So I am sure they are all watching for us today, waiting for us to entertain them a little bit and throw them some candy. Meanwhile, Randy will be back with me on this side of the camera on Monday at 5 o'clock Central for Happy Hour with the Healy's. And remember, Tuesday night for Treat Yourself Tuesday.
Viola finally woke in the West, and she's going to watch the replay, so that works out fine.
Well, yes, you can watch it anytime. And you can always, when we get your pattern shipped out and you're ready to sew, you can go back and watch it at that time too, so you get a little bit of a refresher.
And Viola, or anybody else that is watching this later, or maybe the replay, if you have any questions or concerns, please either email us at amy@wisemonkeyquilting.com or give us a call at 712 393-7979. If you make a comment on Facebook Live, there's a chance that we might not catch that, and we certainly want to answer any questions any of you may have. So please contact us here at the store, and we will try to respond to you as soon as possible.
Absolutely. So have a wonderful weekend. And if you're in the area, stop in and see us.
All right. I'm ready.
All right. Bye.
Take care, everybody.